Here we go. How's everybody doing? Let's go, let's go, let's go. We got old Clarence up in here. I finally getting some of them mugs done. Got to get them new mugs out there. New website and everything. Got the OBS set up. New year, people. New year. Who's excited about a new year? I'm stoked about a new year. New year, new me, new you, new everybody. We're going to get this thing done. We're going to have 2026. We're going to kick some ass this year. Very excited about that. So, what's going on? Well, we had just done a couple of 30-day challenges, right? I think we did about 5, 6, maybe even 7 of them. I don't know. 7 months, 30-day challenges, 6 months of them, half a year. That's fantastic. Talked about sketchbooking. We talked about watercolor. We talked about painting outside. We went all over the gambit. We had a great time doing it, okay? But then there comes a point where you're like, okay, now, Ray, I'm getting all this stuff together. Now what am I going to do with it? What am I going to do? And so that's what I've been thinking about. You know, I took the week off, had a good recharge, you know, putting all them videos out. That takes a little bit out of you, but then you're back. You're right back in the saddle, excited, ready to go. Got the blue beanie on, got the orange tank top on. It's nice and warm outside, even though it's supposed to be mid-January winter. You know what I'm saying? But I'm excited about that. So, the question remains, okay, we have all this information. How do we go ahead and use it to change our lives? We're going to actually put together a comic book, all right? We're going to put together a story, okay? We're going to go ahead and go through the entire process, and it's going to be really exciting, okay? So you're thinking, okay, damn, how do you know what to do? I remember I've been reading comic books my entire life and all that kind of stuff. Digital, not just comic books, but graphic novels, you know. I think my very first ones that I ever read might have been Peanuts. They used to have these old little tiny Peanuts books in the old library when I was in 3rd grade. And of course, you go to the library twice a week. You get to pick out, 2 books, to read. And that was a really big deal. And of course, I ran over to the comic section. I didn't know why none of the other kids did. The cartoons, and I found Charles M. Schulz with Peanuts, right? Got these little tiny books with the indescript cover. There was no images on it or anything. And they were just brown or beige covered books, hardcover books, little tiny ones. And there was maybe about 50 of them, a ton of them, right? And they all had about 100 pages in them of all his cartoons from, the week or the weekly cartoon or whatever from the paper. And so I checked one out and then one after another. And that whole year, the next year I read them. Then I started reading Calvin and Hobbes and, Goose and Grimm and all that kind of stuff. And that's how I kind of fell in love with the sequential art, the art of visual storytelling. And I love that kind of stuff. And I've been, you get a little bit older and you get into comic books. And some comic books left a lot to be desired. Boy, I tell you what, they were terrible. But it's not just a comic book thing. It's a visual storytelling. It's, I learned later on that all the comic books were basically storyboards or the underlying components of, TV and movies. I didn't know that then, but I know it now. And I was never really attracted to it to make a movie or to make anything like that. I was attracted to it for the artwork. And as I read these things, these different Charles M. Schulz or then Bill Watterson, I fell in love with the stories that they were telling and how they resonated with me, and I was really excited about it. Loved it. And of course, you go on a little bit later on, then you read some of the comics. Like I said, some of them sucked, bro. Some were terrible, but some were great. But most of them I got for the artwork, and I would copy the artwork and, go on down that path. So maybe about a year ago, I was talking to somebody and they said, hey, do you ever write stories? And, before that, I just did artwork and stuff like that. What kind of artwork, you might be asking? Well, I did landscapes and portraits, little tiny landscapes, plein airs, or big, huge landscapes, right? Made the frames and everything, and I never even thought about comic books or anything like that, because I knew long ago, when I was going to a little bit of art school, I went to the Watts Atelier down there in San Diego. And I knew how difficult the comic book scene was. You don't really make money at that time doing comic books. And so I never really thought about it. Then when the person suggested it to me, I thought about old Eric July. We all had Eric July, right? ISO, okay? Thought about him, thought about his $3.4 million that he made. And I said, hell, yeah, I can make me a story. Let me go ahead and see if I can't put this together. All right. And of course, we all know the story about Eric July and his aftermath, but that's neither here nor there. The precedent that was set was that it was possible to go ahead and make a good piece of money and reach a good amount of people with your story independently. So that was the first time that had ever happened. Of course, some other people had done crowdfunding before, but never on that level. Ethan Van Sciver also, he hit 1.5 million. I didn't know that at that time. If I had known it, I would have probably started sooner, because 1.5 million is right up there. I'm happy to get that too. That's a possibility. But beforehand, I always thought, no, you couldn't make any money. You'd just be selling them for $20 a pop out the back of your car. And who could do that, right? Who could live off of that, support a family, whatever? And so then I got excited about it. So I went and I started writing some stories. And I wrote me about maybe like 12 or 15 stories, okay? Some of them were long, some of them were short. I got a couple of stories that I'm still working on that are novel length, right? So I got all excited about that, started writing all that. But I got one in particular that I did finish, okay? This is my second effort of writing these types of stories. And I got it right here. Here's the story, okay? Right there, look at that. Boom. Got all these pages, okay? Wrote the story. This story is Kitty City. This is the story of Kitty City, okay? So then what I did is I got some of my recent favorite, comics. Like I got Tokyo Ghost there. I got me some Bug Wars, and I got me some Transformers, and I got me some Battle Beast action, and another Transformers back there. We got that. And I used these, I grabbed these, and I said, hey, what are the aspects of these that I love? Okay, what are the aspects of these comic books that I love? Okay, because I got to go ahead and I got to convert this story right here into a comic book. All right, or a graphic novel, I don't know, whatever the hell you want to call it. The lines are so blurred now, I don't know. I was working this out. This is going to be something like 240 pages or something like that once it's all done. So, I don't know how many issues that is at 60 pages an issue, maybe 24, divided by 6, 6 times 4, that's about 4 issues or something like that, right? But it's about Kitty City, okay? So I'm really pumped about it. And I'm going to be working on it, and I'm going to be doing these videos and showing you guys how I pull it all together, and talking about it, talking about all the aspects of it, and just getting really excited about it, because it's an outlet to take that artwork, to take that drawing, and not just keep it in your sketchbook, but also to bring it to life, to put it in front of other people so that other people can get excited about it, and they can resonate, and it can change your life too, because it's going to change my life, all right? So what I wanted to show you, and I'm still working out how exactly I'm going to do these videos, but I got the time-lapse camera so I can shoot it. I might even do a stream on Twitch or something like that where I just live stream for 2 or 3 hours. I seen, Vasilis was doing it, and I saw Ethan Van Sciver was doing it. I might do some draw streams like that. Now, personally, I haven't thought that very many people watch those, but I might be wrong. Maybe people will watch them, all right? But for example, you get your sketchbook, okay? So I got my sketchbook right here, and I got a cheaper version, right? This is just an old Canson sketchbook, right? And I love the traditional artwork, okay? I absolutely love it, absolutely adore it. And so I got my sketchbook, and I got my page all laid out right here, okay? You see that? Got my page laid out right there. Oh, maybe I forgot to tell you. The main character in my story is Mersh, all right? You might not know Mersh, but if you do know him, he's from Nightwave Radio. All right, now I wanted to tell you why I picked Mersh for my main character. And the reason being is because, I was doing my artwork, and I have my podcast on. I'll be listening to Nightwave Radio. And, of course, it's because I go on late into the night, and he's on late into the night. And I'm a night guy, too, and he's a night guy. And so I'll be listening to him. And, a lot of the stuff that he said I resonated with. And, I can vibe with where he's coming from and all like that. And, rather than create a fictional character, I just went ahead and ripped his guts, of Mersh. And I took that character and I put it into this scene. And in this story. And the other component, the other influence of this story is Trevor Noah's Kitty History song. I don't know if you've ever heard that song. I'll try to link it down below. I would play it for you, but I'm sure it'd be copyright struck and that nobody's going to see my damn video, And I'm like, what the hell? And that's part of the thing too. I'm like, where is everybody watching my videos? How come I ain't got more people watching my videos? Watching, like, and subscribe and all that stuff, right? And so Of course, I've been watching Charleston White because I'm learning how to do this character thing now. Get all wild and crazy on the internet and make a spectacle of yourself just to have a good time. Like he says, I'm just fooling. I'm just fooling people, okay? So that's what I'm doing too. I'm going to be entertaining. Get a little bit of that southern accent out there and have a little bit of spice with it, you know? So anyway, so I got that Trevor Noah kitty history song, and I really love that idea of a whole civilization of cats, right? Somewhere off in the universe somewhere, there's a whole civilization of cats, right? So then I got, that's the whole background. Then I got Mersh, and it took some of his characteristics and whatnot and changed them a little bit, right? I created a whole backstory and put him in there, had him fall down into this world, and then have him transverse through this world in order to try to help these cats save their civilization, even though he didn't want to do it at first. He don't like none of this. He just wants to get about his business and get back to doing what he's doing. You know, he's coming back from somewhere. He's been gone for a year. He's coming back to find his whole world turned upside down. You know, he goes back to his apartment that he had owned, you know, his condo, and he finds his girlfriend there, but now she's got another man living with her. You know, and of course it gets all messy. You know, this is one of them comic books for adults. You know what I'm saying? I mean, high school kids can read them, but, you know, you ain't probably not young kids because we got drugs in it. We got, you know, we got voluptuous women in it. We got gambling in it. Of course we got gambling. We got women's tennis in this thing. You know what I mean? Women's tennis, because that's what Mersh likes to do. So I took the, you know, the essence of who Mersh is, put him into this character, and then put him into this world, and then I let it all play out. Having a good time with it, right? And then I wrote the story, and now I'm going ahead and I'm illustrating it. So then I got this sketchbook right here, and I bang it out in my sketchbook. I got the page right there, and I got a previous page behind it. And so I'm using these old cheaper sketchbooks to bang out the initial pages. You see what I'm saying? And then what I'm doing is I'm taking my watercolor paper. That's right, I'm not using Bristol, people. I made these wood backs right here. And then I got the watercolor paper on the top of it, all taped down, right? You see my little layout right there. This is the very first stage. Got it all taped down right there in case I want to come back and do the watercolor on top of it, because that's my intention. Now, you know, I don't know what's going to happen, of course. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll hire somebody else to do the coloring digital. We'll see about that. All right, but then here we got this other page right here. It's all inked in. We got Mersh right there. We got the bus pulling up. Him coming down the bus steps right there. Him standing in front of the Quickie Mart while the bus drives away. Let me see if I can't get that shadow out of there. See what I mean? And that's what it's looking like. Now my intention is to go ahead and take this comic book, do some daily videos on putting it together, being all excited about it, talking about, you know, each page and kind of like what the philosophy is and all that kind of stuff behind it, and then go ahead and put a time-lapse video, you know, switch it down to like 5 minutes so that it, you know, it's pretty quick, so that we can keep these videos under 20 minutes. You know, we want them short and sweet, in and out, people. I want you to come in every day, watch the video, see where we're at with the Kitty City, and then, you know, I want it to apply to your life and get you excited too, and then look forward to have little nuggets inside the story that resonate with you and to get excited about, and then to see them visually, you know, and then to make really good art visually, you know, none of this digital shortcut stuff, but make it good art. Pour yourself into the artwork so that it's something that you want to keep a hold of, so that something that you can go back and look at, right? One of the stories that I really loved was The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. And, you know, I know the story front to back. I've read it 3 or 4, maybe 5 times. I don't know. But every time you read it, it talks to you in a different way, and it's because you're in a different position in your life. And that's what I want these kind of stories to be like. It ain't no superhero story where it falls into a particular formula. And also, this story's got all kinds of twists and turns in it. And it's going to probably freak you out a little bit. And that's what I want it to do. I want it to freak you out a little bit. I want it to be like, oh, what the hell is that all about? What's that all about? And I want you to get all excited about it. And so that's my goal. That's my hope with this new video series that we're going to do. You know, we had a really good interview with Matthias Adelson. And you should go back and watch that if you haven't seen it. He's a master illustrator. And he's very, very successful, international illustrator. And one of the things that he said that young artists always come up to him and ask him about is, how did you do it? How did you get there? What are the steps? You should be asking, how do I have enough illumination to walk the path? That's what you should be asking. And then how do I stoke that fire to keep it bright? So that's what this whole series is intended to do. It's intended to stoke the fire in you. It's intended to get you excited also about this story, and it's excited about the journey that we're going to go on. Now let's have some fun with it, okay? Let's kick some ass, and let's talk a little bit about Kitty City. Let's go, people.